Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on back to another episode of the Speak the Truth podcast. You better believe it. Got a brand new video for you guys I'm going to be playing here in just a sec. You wouldn't believe what the Special Forces Association had to say about this. Just wait, ladies and gentlemen, it's coming up. Also, the ambush I talked about on this morning's podcast that took place over inside of Gaza. Hamas decided outside of Khan Yunis it'd be a good idea to take about 20 to 30 guys and throw them in an Israeli observation post, thinking it'd be a good idea. That is, until an Israeli tank showed up and just started running people over. Quite literally, that thumbnail is not a joke. They just crushed him. I don't know how else to say. I mean, they literally crushed the guy. And then, of course, you know, bombs were falling from the sky, everything else. Apparently, about 12 of those Hamas fighters were killed. No Israeli soldiers were killed during that contact. Israel got kind of pissed off and then went. Thank you for watching. You know who you are. And I don't know how else to say this, but it is almost embarrassing at this point for Hamas that they even bother continuing on. And not only is that embarrassing, in my opinion, but let me tell you what else is embarrassing while we sit here on the Speak the Truth channel. And seeing how he decided to text me today and let me know that everybody's watching and everybody's recording everything that I am currently saying. I hope you're recording this one, freaking liar.
Today, at around 9 a.m., I got a phone call from the Special Forces Association parachute team, of which I was a part of. We did demonstration jumps for Special Forces. And I was told that I was no longer a member of the team because of my speaking out against Israel.
Wow. Against a foreign military.
Yeah. So from the Special Forces Association parachute team, of which I've been a member, as a Green Beret, I was, as of this morning, called. Sorry, you can't be on the team anymore. You know, you with your position on speaking out against Israel, we can't have you representing the Special Forces Association. Really? Wow. That should be telling to so many people that hear this that I swore an oath to the Constitution of the United States of America, not to a foreign government or a foreign military. And if anyone thinks that they're going to intimidate me into not telling the truth over being part of a club, get out of here. Because the truth is more important.
Now, what do you think the Special Forces Association had to say about that statement? Do you think he was telling the truth? Do you think maybe the world's really small and other Green Berets on this planet might possibly exist? Yeah, I think so. Why do I say that? Why do I bring that up? Because I gave him a call. I happened to talk to the president of the Special Forces Association parachute team. Guess what that man said? He didn't say that he was let go and told he can't return because of his stance on frickin' speaking out against the IDF in Israel. Not even remotely close. Didn't even come remotely close to it. You know what he actually said? You know what he said? He said, ready for this? Get ready. Make sure you're recording, Anthony. Mr. Aguilar was released from the Special Forces Association parachute team for publicly disclosing sensitive security information of UG Solutions operations that endangered the lives of Americans. Almost like you're an embarrassment to the regiment because you almost got your brothers killed. Freaking ridiculous, man. I can't even believe that I had to actually correct that record once again. All right. So we're going to get into what's taking place over inside of Ukraine. Then we're going to go to touch place on Gaza as well, because like some more developments are coming out from over there. And of course, U.S. warships on their way down to Venezuela. They actually should have just now been arriving right around this current time frame. They're going down there to do interdiction operations. And it seems like this administration has no problem putting the military to work. Haven't talked about it at all, but the National Guard has been on the streets over in Washington, D.C. doing their dang thing. J.D. Vance, along with Secretary of Defense Hegseth, showed up today to pay the troops a visit.
Actually, the most interesting thing, Laura, was after the cameras left, Pete and Steve and I stayed and, had lunch with these troops and just learned a lot about what they're seeing, about how much the city has changed in just the past 9 days. So crazy statistic. Violent crime has dropped in D.C. 35% in 9 days. Robberies in D.C. have dropped 55% in 9 days. And it highlights the fact that this living with lawlessness and disorder, that's fundamentally a question of political political will. If you've got the political will to enforce the law, you can make even cities like D.C. safe again, and that's what we're demonstrating. And I hope that the American people take an important lesson from this, because obviously D.C. is a federal city, New York, L.A., these places are not. I hope the American people just recognize that you don't have to live with lawlessness. You don't have to live with third world murder rates. If you just take control of these cities, you can make them safe places to live in. So actually,
it's actually amazing. You know, I was watching some of the clips that are coming out of D.C. of what the actual residents are saying about all of that. And what the actual residents are saying is that they're happy to have them down there. They're saying that it's quiet. I saw one video. I might have been what I actually put up here to follow it. Yeah, it is. This freaking kid that ends up like walking up over here, talking to these National Guard soldiers, said the last time he was over here, and this is over by the Navy Yard, which is kind of not the worst spot, but it's definitely surrounded by horrible things. Pretty sure this is the one where the kid said that the last time he was over here, there was like a shooting in the area. Like, these people aren't upset. That kid right there had walked over and told the, holy crap. No, that's not him. No, that can't be him. Nah, that's not him. No way. That's not my friend. All right. Anyways, yeah. That kid said like the last time that they were over there was like a shooting in the area. So they're all praising. They're happy that the National Guard's on the ground. Saying it's just a bunch of white liberals that are really pissed off. When we go and we take a look at the Navy on their way down to Venezuela, like I said, they should be arriving off the coast right now. Their plan is to have them floating over in international waters before they like actually do anything. And what are they going to be doing? Apparently maritime interdiction of drug trafficking and drug routes from Maduro coming out of Venezuela. And Trump came out yesterday and ended up saying that he hadn't ruled out using the military in order to basically get rid of the guy, because he's a massive piece of crap. Now, these are all of the freaking vessels that we have over there. Here you see the USS Sampson, then we got the Minneapolis, unknown fast attack sub in the area, USS Jason Dunham, the Gravely, Fort Lauderdale, San Antonio, and Iwo Jima are all on their way down there right now outside. Videos actually started emerging of them floating around outside of that, like started to come over and like being shown off the shore. And you've got Venezuelans that are like freaking out. They're mobilizing the military, all sorts of crap. But the Navy allegedly is remaining inside international waters. Now on those boats, you have right around 2,000 Marines and additional 2,000 sailors that are just down in that immediate vicinity. So pretty freaking rad, honestly. And this is actually really awesome. I just got sent this literally right as I started the stream from Texas. It looks like we have 5 settlements. Holy crap. 5 settlements that ended up getting freaking liberated. Wow. Yeah. Over in Dnipropetrovsk region. Can't even freaking pronounce half that crap, man. Way too long. And we're going to touch on it a little bit. Yesterday, Russia actually handed back over 1,000 Ukrainian bodies as well, following the peace agreement / settlement. These are the trucks carrying those soldiers back home into Ukraine. It's pretty crazy. People ended up lining the streets over there with Ukrainian flags, and they're just literally semi-trucks full of bodies that are flowing back in. Some of the bodies that actually ended up getting returned on these trucks were EPWs that Russia was holding on to, that were sick while they were in confinement and or wounded, and they ended up dying in confinement, being held as prisoners of war. So if they could have just simply returned the bodies, maybe they would have got better medical treatment, better food, better freaking care, and they wouldn't have had to die. So Russia, honestly, you're not off the hook today, because I actually got Russia bombing a freaking school up over in Sumy as well. Now, to bring a little bit of context for you guys, and I actually like this because a lot of people, it's hard for them to understand, even though I can throw up Ukrainian territory on the screen and tell you guys everything that's going on over there and try to break it down. But this gentleman right here, President Stubb, actually breaks down very, very well what the territorial gain would look like over here inside of the United States of America. So if Russia was to invade the United States, This is about, like, right, to compare it to something for the American viewers that are on here watching, this is about what it would look like.
We didn't talk about territory today, but I guess for an American audience and having studied in the US for many years, the best way to explain it is that if you take the relative landmass of what Russia wants right now from Ukraine, it would be a little bit like you giving up Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, even Virginia, and then bumping into Maryland. We didn't talk about territory today, but I guess
that is a heck of a lot of land when you actually start thinking about it and you put it down into that context, right? That is a big ass. It's a big thing. And so imagine Russia invading the United States of America, some other country coming in and saying, you know what, you're going to give up all of this crap because, simply put, we have to fund and supply this war in order to make it happen. And, like, truthfully, it's not even that, like, at that point anymore. Anyways, oil refineries over in Russia have been getting slammed hard over the last 60 days. Hard. I want to put this up on the screen. I want to talk to you guys about this before I end up bringing up the next point here. I ended up compiling a list of all of these strikes and having it out. In total, when we start talking about this, in total, listen to this. Since July 1 to August 20th, you have at least 9 distinct sites that have been affected. All right. And all of these are like Russian freaking sites. They include oil refineries and they also include pipelines and infrastructure. 2 pumping stations had also been struck, affecting fuel that's getting pumped out. All right. In total, when you take a look at this flipping spreadsheet, it's pretty freaking nuts. I'm going to have to post this here in a little bit for you guys to have it up there. I didn't quite get all of, like, the distribution and all of that other crap down, but in total, it looks like, let's see, 6 million, almost 7. No, that's way off. 6 million barrels distributed a day. Looks like it ends up getting cut off. And then you have a revenue estimate. Wow, that's a lot of freaking decimal points. Let's see, 372.3 million in revenue that ended up getting hit. And Russia is actually feeling this pretty freaking hard right now. Did I not put that up on the screen? Did I just do that whole segment without having this on the screen? Am I that stupid? Did I actually do that tonight? Is that what I did? Is that what I did? Did I just read off all of those statistics and not show you guys this freaking refinery on fire? Did I actually do that? Was I that dumb? I know I put on pants tonight, but dear God, not putting videos up on the screen, I'm better than that. Joshua Ewing coming in, giving out 10 Speak the Truth memberships. Thank you, sir. Uncle Buck, have to say bye, too sick, stay in the chat. Aw, Sky God coming in, giving out 20. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, stick around because we do have video of a tank driving over top of a Hamas fighter coming up here in just a second. That is a buttload, right? You're talking about 9 refineries plus 2 pumping stations and pipelines, all that have been struck just since July 1. These refineries going up and getting freaking hit have been causing massive problems for Russia. The Russian people, dude, there is reports of, I think it was like 15 kilometers long. I've heard reports of up to 40 kilometers long. People waiting for fuel. Now, this isn't just affecting your everyday drivers either, right? We've also got lines of semi-trucks. Now we're talking about goods and commodities and things like that that are not getting freaking shipped out. This ends up affecting a grand total. Hold on. This ends up affecting a grand total of 13.5% of Russia's oil refining. 13.5%, man. That is a buttload of freaking oil refining. And that doesn't even count the pipelines and anything else that's going in. So you want to talk about the amount of freaking oil that they've targeted. It's very, very huge. It's all fun and games showing, games showing people getting blown up and stuff like that on the battlefield and talking about all those different things that are happening. And obviously those 5 villages being liberated is huge, right? But when we start talking about their actual supplies being affected, we start talking about Russia's limited ability to wage war. Oh, I've got the tired Hamas fighters, man. I still got the guys taking naps. Nope, they're still here. I brought the tired Hamas fighters today. If you guys didn't know, you're going to see some really sleepy Hamas fighters. They got really, really tired after fighting the IDF. Very, very tired. Very, very tired. Look at this massive line of semi-trucks. I believe this actually came out of Crimea. All of these semi-trucks are stuck. They have like fuel rations that are only going out to certain freaking companies, certain government entities. And of that, they still have to have like ration cards in order to get fuel. And so what you have now is just a massive freaking buildup all over the dang place of Russian vehicles that can't go anywhere. They're literally stuck, right? And there's people that are going to sit there and they're going to tell you that, Russia's doing great things and Russia's winning. But at the end of the day, their ability to fight very much so depends on the oil. This is just a really cool video of Ukraine that ended up filming a freaking cluster bomb that almost took his butt out.
Надо мной где-то. Самолет сбили. Ого. Господи, спаси и сохрани. У-ху-ху.
I don't know if you guys have ever been that close to a freaking cluster bomb going off, but...
Ого. Господи, спаси и сохрани. У-ху-ху.
Oh, I missed it.
Самолет сбили.
Look at that.
Самолет сбили.
That's nuts. And then you picture the dud rate on those flipping things and how like many of them that are now just laying out there in the field. It's ridiculous. You might have had a freaking 40 to 50% dud rate on some of those cluster munitions that are now scattered across that entire freaking field, right? And all of those are just laying out there waiting on people to go over and freaking kick. Well, they're not actually, they're sub-munitions. Over on Sumy, I told you guys that Russia was getting its butt kicked up over on the front line, and I wasn't kidding. They're so butthurt that they decided they can't fight grown men. So you know what they're going to do? They're going to attack a university.
Hello, just to let you know that this building behind me is university in Sumy that was affected by Russian missile this week. From the moment I heard explosion, I was nearby, only to find out that this is the exact place where the rocket fell. If you can see, there's a bigger building and windows are smashed completely. You can see the aftermath. And this is a place where students should have gone to continue their education in September. Now they're not willing to do that. This is not a military object. This is university. So Russia want to erase our identity, to erase their ability to start to get knowledge. So this is one of many reasons why civilized world should not give up on Ukraine and do everything possible to stop Russia. Hello, just to let...
Just pointing this out here, I actually didn't know that, and who was it that just stated it down in the freaking comment section, that the Iwo Jima is a Marine landing ship? Paul Allen says that Iwo Jima is a Marine landing ship, and that's serious. Well, again, like I said, man, Trump didn't rule out any military options for getting rid of freaking Maduro if he doesn't start freaking playing nice. And Cog Faraday in the house, gifting out 5 Speak the Truth memberships. Thank you, sir. Greatly appreciate you. Now, I'm going to point out to you a Ukrainian man over inside of Kherson. We talked about how crappy the Russians are when it comes down to fighting, that they're basically getting stacked up on the front line. They're one breach of the Ukrainian line that they ended up having. They ended up getting surrounded, a bunch of people captured and killed. And now the line just kind of shut off, and that whole thing has kind of fizzled out. Everybody was really excited about what Russia was doing. But let's take a look at some of the things that Russia is actually doing up over on the front line. This video shows a Ukrainian man repairing the roof of his house as he gets targeted by Russian munitions in Kherson. I can't do the music, man. I legit can't do the freaking music. I don't understand why they do so much. There it goes. He's gonna bomb a dude's house. Yep. I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. Bill Hoekstra coming in and giving out 5 Speak the Truth memberships. You know, you can look and you can claim that maybe that university could have been getting used as a military staging point for, the Ukrainians, something of that nature. Then it loses its protected status. But you absolutely can't do is say that this man that's tarring the roof of his house up there doing his thing and a freaking bomb ends up striking this sucker, that is somehow a legitimate military target. And this is Russia. This is not, Matt, have you gotten a poo box door is yet? PO box. No, I have not got a PO box. No. So that's the big issue right there. Yeah, I mean, you can't be doing this crap. And this has been getting complained on for a very long time. I know this isn't new to a lot of people that are kind of tracking on all this. Now, I did tell you about the assault that ended up taking place on the IDF over inside of Gaza, ended up reporting earlier. You ended up having them crawling up out of a freaking tunnel and attacking this site with between 20 and 30 fighters. The fight ends up getting repelled. IDF tanks and everybody else ends up showing up to the area. Bombs start falling from the freaking sky, and Hamas fighters start getting crushed. Looks like there was a little, somewhere around a dozen fighters that ended up getting killed. This is probably one of the coolest videos. I'm not going to lie. Are you guys ready? If you guys are ready to see a tank crush a Hamas fighter, just drive over them. Go ahead and smash the like button. Just do it over and over and over because it's coming. You guys ready? Here it comes. In 3, 2, 1. Part of me wishes there was sound to this video. Now, the amazing thing to me is that that fighter is sitting there with a freaking RPG in his hand. And I'm just going to let this sit on play over and over and over again while I discuss this piece of badassery that took place. It's literally a freaking tank versus one guy taking a knee with a dang RPG. Danny Goland, who said reservists aren't trained? This is the hardest thing to do given little to no visibility at that range. Maybe the first time in history. You know, I'm not sure, Danny. I have a Cletus poo box. I'm going to be honest with you, man. I am not sure, but I got a feeling that this driver did see that coming. Clearly, they weren't that far away. And you can see that this guy had just came right through there. You see the big dust cloud over from behind. And he sees this guy down there on his knee with that freaking RPG, ready to shoot the dang thing. Volk says, I can imagine some Looney Tunes crash sounds playing over the video. You can. Somebody also shared the thing from Austin Powers where he's on the steamroller driving at 0 miles an hour. The guy's like, no, screaming the entire time. This is legitimately from those guys that went over and tried to capture IDF service members this morning. Tank ended up showing up and they ended up dropping bombs all over these freaking dudes. I have a friend who parks like that. Dude, nah, man. This is you just don't do that. Somebody asked, why didn't they pivot steer on this guy in the comment section when I ended up sharing this video earlier? And I was like, that's a very good question. Why would you pivot steer on top of this? For those of you that don't know, a tank literally has the ability to take the tracks and basically lock one up and just drive the other one and cause it to spin like in a circle, just pivot in one little area. That would have completely, totally ripped it up. Another question I got today is, how long does it take to clean the tracks after this actually goes down? Said probably about, 100 to 200 meters, right? And all of that moon dust and stuff. I think you could throw all of those chunks off. Yeah, I mean, so many things that we could actually talk about with this video, so many puns that could come out of it. But at the end of the day, Tank Donuts, Scott Stanton, becoming a true supporter. Good to have you in the house. At the end of the day, this right here is probably one of the most just baller things I've ever seen. Cue the scream that Tom from Tom and Jerry does when you get hurt. Oh yeah. Yep. That could do it. That could do it. I mean, also just where's the Hollywood special effects guys? This video just in general. Now, when I first saw this video out, and you could see it right there at the top of the screen. Wait for it. Wait for it. There it is. So right up there at the top of the screen, you guys see that big black line going across there? Pretty sure this is some dude's computer screen. And he was just like, this is too good of a video. And I know the IDF isn't going to release it. So I'm just going to go ahead and leak this video out. And I don't know if he was just recording this crap as it was going down, saw it freaking happen. He definitely didn't get airlifted, ladies and gentlemen. He didn't. He didn't get airlifted at all. He just had a very bad day. Danny says driver can't see anything. He drives by commands over the radio. Also correct. Also correct. They do have very, very limited view. Well, actually, I'm thinking about U.S. stuff, right? But I mean, command in U.S. mechanized units, if I remember correct, is driver up, right? But they basically go through telling them how to steer and where to go and what to do. And so this is actually way more impressive than you think, like taking a look at this, because the guns on that tank, you know, when they come up over there and you look at where they're at. So learning moment, right here, you've got, I believe this is the 50 cal on it. And then normally up top, you've got the 240s that are sitting up there as well. Those things would have been damn near impossible to be able to get up and go as they're going over there. And if they just came around the corner, Matt, did the video go farther to see after the dust settled? There is actually a video that's floating around. I've got to keep this quasi PG for the tubest of the ubes, but there is a video of the aftermath of this particular individual, and he don't look good. He definitely didn't make it. I'll tell you that much. And it actually just gave me a memory of something else that I saw happen once upon a time. Pretty gross. But yeah, I mean, that tank weighs a buttload. You can crush cars with that thing. I promise you that guy did not walk away. Other of these guys, yeah, I mean, just look at that. Look at him. He's just sitting there, like, doesn't even bother to like try to fire it. Doesn't bother to try to roll away. This also raises the question in my mind whether or not this guy was actually wounded, trying to run, because it doesn't look like he's actually on a knee. It kind of looks like he's laying over on his side a little bit, raising the RPG up. Look at the iron vision system. He didn't make it. No, he 1000% didn't make it. Foobar Ed, Foobar, he says. But yeah, I got a feeling that guy was wounded. You think it will wash out with a little OxyClean? That'll buff out. That'll buff out. Don't worry about it, man. It'll buff out. Don't you worry, my friends. It'll buff out. Here's a video of Hamas fighters running around on the ground and just having bombs dropped on them after they launched that freaking ambush. And there you see bombs just falling, warheads on foreheads, going all freaking day long. Another video came out showing them scrambling around and trying to make their way back into this like huge tunnel. And it kind of amazed me that that tunnel system even still existed in this day. There's just massive piles of dirt and stuff that are all around it. And then one of the guys ended up getting like blown to shit, but a bunch of them ended up, like about half of them, I guess, ended up making it in the tunnel and running away. Volk says Merkava Mark 4M actually has augmented reality systems for crews to see through the tank. No way. No freaking way. That's rad. That's rad, man. That's something I didn't know about that tank. That's freaking rad. That's freaking awesome that that actually exists. Give me a second, Texas. I'll be able to pull that up here in just a little bit, my friend. Now I have to show you. I have to show you a couple Hamas fighters. Like I said, they were tired, man. They went over. They fought long and hard. And I'm going to be honest with you. If I was on foot with just a couple AKs going up against tanks, I would need a nap too. I would need a big nap. And it looks like these guys ended up taking a nap. See that? They're sleeping. They're tired. They're sleepy. They're sleepy. They needed a nap. They had to take a nap. So after the battle, everything, like they just got all tuckered out, man. Look at that little guy. He's all tuckered out. He's all tuckered out, right? They're over there. They're spooning. They're hugging each other. It is Thursday. No. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. It's not Thursday. I'm sorry. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. I'm sorry. It's not Thursday yet. They're a day early. I guess they didn't know, man. I guess anything flies in Gaza. I guess they're just going on Gaza people time. Who the hell knows? So immediately following, well, maybe not immediately following that ambush, but throughout the day following that, all tuckered out. Yep, all tuckered out. Now, following that, Israelis ended up dropping more bombs. So I've got a feeling that they were able to follow some of these Hamas fighters back to where they came from, waited for them to bed down, and then ended up putting warheads on foreheads.
Yes.
That's just a good bomb. You gotta love it, man. Those are just good bomb drops. More bomb drops took place throughout the day over inside of southern Gaza. People were a little bit upset as all of these bombs were going through and dropping there. You can see another strike ended up taking place, and from a distance, some more. So what I believe actually ended up happening is you had those people that had gone over and attacked that location, Earlier today, I ended up showing the different maps of Gaza and where they were at and where this whole thing kind of took place. And what we were able to basically distinguish was that, Hamas is very decentralized. They're not able to get around and do the different things that they need to do. But more so, on top of that, it's kind of in like a little contained area. So they couldn't have came from very far away. And I got a feeling that even if they popped in the tunnel, maybe they've already reconned it. Maybe they know where it's going and they just haven't demolished it yet. Who knows? But they were able to take care of them following that strike, is my personal opinion. Now, something else that I found extremely amazing, that I'm just going to put this up here. It looks like they are building a water pipeline that's going to service, I think it was over 600,000 people with 15 liters of water per day into southern Gaza.
المشروع الأضخم والأكبر اللي راح تنفذه إمارات الخير مشروع خط المياه المحلاة اللي راح يكون بدايته من الأراضي المصرية انتهاء في المناطق الجنوبية لمحافظة رفح وخان يونس. راح يستفيد من خط المياه المحلاة الإماراتي ما يقارب من 600 ل 700 ألف نسمة، وراح يوفر 15 لتر مي لكل شخص واحد داخل خيام. يعني راح نشرب مي محلاة وصالحة للشرب 100% بدرجة امتياز الإماراتية. كيف جاهزين تصيروا تعبوا مي من هنا طالع؟ بدنا نعبي مي من الخط هذا ها؟ ايش بتقول للإمارات؟ شكرا لمين؟ الإمارات. وشكرا إليك. المشروع الأضخم والأكبر اللي راح تنفذه إمارات
Oh my God. Over on X, I got by Lowkey Daniel. He says, "You are a disgrace, an un-American coward for trashing American war hero patriot Tony Aguilar." No, he's a piece of trash for lying and going after the Special Forces Association, knowing damn good and well the reason he got let go from the parachute team. That's what he is. And there's not a single member of the freaking SF community that I've talked to that's like especially going after the freaking community like that. That's a freaking joke. And I'll tell you this much, man, like the SF parachute team, they raised millions of freaking dollars over the years for SF freaking families. For him to go after the freaking parachute team, for him to go after the SFA, for him to claim that he got thrown out for his stance on Gaza, not for the fact that he endangered Americans' freaking lives by putting out that freaking crap. Like, I'm sorry, man. He's not. You want me to, hold on. You know what? This is why. You want to know why? This is why. Let me get back up over here. Let me see if I can actually make this work. I played this the other day, and it's funny. You're a piece of trash for going after this American warrior. You think that's okay? Like, you think this is okay? You don't think that maybe this is the reason he got freaking kicked out?
As armed security, every day, we will take armored vehicles with armored personnel. We escort the trucks, the long trailer trucks, into Gaza through gate, which is right there near, a little bit north of. If we're going to Site 4, we don't drive into Gaza and then drive Gaza to the site. We actually stay on the Israeli side and drive it on the Israeli side up to gate to deliver it to Site 4. When we get to the sites, every site has a team of guards that stay on the site 24 hours. We do so every site is allocated static security teams, and they rotate. Then after stations of that, a team gets, so you have teams dedicated to the site to rotate every and then days off. And that's at every site. I know that there are 7 of us in the entire world that have been to these sites. SRS people don't go to the sites. They're not authorized to. GHF doesn't go to the sites. They're not authorized to. The IDF don't go to the sites. They're not allowed on them. There are only 7 people in this entire world. Actually, shame on you.
Shame on you. Yeah, I don't think any of that information he just happily gave out on a podcast could have maybe been used to aid an enemy of the United States of America in order to kill Americans. And it's not like a lieutenant colonel who's in the Green Berets would have known any better, right? Just giving away the number of contractors that were on the ground to the best of his knowledge, giving away their security rotations, giving away the specific gates that they used. No, that wouldn't endanger any lives of Americans whatsoever. Now, would it? Not at all. That's not grounds for them to kick him off. The vast, like a good chunk, you know what else that guy told me? A good chunk, like 70%-ish of the people that are on that parachute team are active duty Green Berets. And none of them want to jump with him. And none of them trust him. You know why? Because he lies. That's why. And he just risked the lives of the people he served with. Whether you like that or not. TS, brother. Smokey Sergeant. Terra firma, siesta, mucho bueno. I don't even know what that means, man, but somebody out there does. Oh, my Lord. Holy freaking cow. Sorry. Now, that we've got that covered, I think we can move in to the next portion of the show, which is a great video that Texas shared. I watched it earlier, and this is a Russian tank just straight up like blasting freaking Russian forces. So that is a bunch of dudes on foot that ended up trying to push through. And that is a Ukrainian tank showing up and just blasting the crap out of all those freaking troops on the ground and doing a damn good job taking care of business. You got to give it up to the Ukrainians taking care of that stuff. Oh my goodness, man. Yeah. Oh, they were sticking around after that breakthrough. That's what that was. I'm sorry. So they were sticking around after the breakthrough. All right. So it's not maybe what we had all thought that it freaking. Hey, stop. And this is the one that I ended up sharing yesterday. I'm pretty sure of the tank just blasting dudes from freaking close range.
Такий, що пиздец. Сначала Беха двойка виїхала на тих підерів. Зараз вже танк, блядь, напряму на метрі стоїть цей підвал від ствола танка, блядь. Я їбу нахуй, реально. Це просто...
Сдавайтесь, сука, да. Я їбу.
Такий, що пиздец. Сначала Беха двойка виїхала.
I mean, it's a pretty good video, and you just got drone operators just sitting back watching this crap take place. Like, yep, they're in that building. Yep, go ahead, fire the main gun. Yep, do it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, they're just taking those guys out. Smokey Sergeant says terra firma equals dirt nap. Oh, well, there you go. Handing out dirt naps left and right. Good on him, man. Yeah, I mean, the freaking Ukrainian tanks, man, have been, I've seen some wild Ukrainian tank videos the last couple days of them, like, just no kidding, getting very close kills. This is like the week of freaking tanks running dudes over and getting like point blank main gun kills left and right. It's absolutely insane. Is he supposed to be coming back for another interview? No, I'm not bringing him back on the show at all because of what he just did. Did you not hear what he just said? Do you
Today,
think
at around 9 a.m.
Do you think that man should be allowed back on the show to share more sensitive information? Like, listen to how much this video is bleeped out.
Every site has a team of guards that stay on the site 24 hours. We do so every site is allocated static security teams, and they rotate.
Do you really think that I should allow him any airtime whatsoever to endanger any more American lives? The answer is not no. The answer is hell no. Absolutely not. No, I won't do it. Especially after you go after the Special Forces Association and lie about the reason you got kicked off the parachute team. It's not because of your stance on Gaza. It's because of this.
Then after of that, a team gets, so you have teams dedicated to the site to rotate every and then days off. And that's at every site.
Literally talks about the amount of security teams at every single site. Their rotations, their rest periods, the gates that they use to access and to get inside, and the number of freaking contractors on the ground. No. No, I will not. The answer is no. Not a snowball's chance in hell. Hell no is politely saying it. You're right, because it's YouTube. So I got to say hell no. I mean, I don't have to say hell no, but I'm going to say hell no. No, you're not doing that, man. No. Did he borrow his dad's jacket, got his mom's shoulders? I don't know, man. I don't know if those, I honestly, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But what I can tell you is that is just not, no, that's not coming on the show. Nope, not a snowball's chance in hell. No. Yeah, no. I just, no. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that honestly is going to end up doing it for me for this evening. It's a nice early evening. We need to take a little break. You need to take a little relaxation, ladies and gentlemen. Just take a little relax, take a little breather tonight. I want to appreciate every single one of you guys for coming on over here, joining me on tonight's episode of the Speak the Truth podcast. I'm going to catch you guys first thing tomorrow morning. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Peace, love, happiness, and God bless, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Old School Nanner Gang. Sky God, many thanks from the chat. Danny Goland, FYI, that tank doesn't have iron vision. Matt sent you a signal regarding your Israel trip. Thank you, Danny. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah. No, we ain't doing it. Peace, love, happiness, God bless, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out of here.